And what's going on, guys? And welcome to the Benches Cleared podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez. I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants, who are technically 3-2 right now for the week, and they're tied with the Mariners. I'm going to call the win. Confidence is the key. I'm going to go 4-2, what I was hoping for this week.
And I'm Tyler Coe, and I represent the Los Angeles Dodgers, who went a definitive 4-2 last week. However, right now it's maybe looking like a 4-3. We're down 5-2 to the D-backs, so we'll see. But 4-2 for sure.
I think I have. Well, they also got the shit kicked out of us for 3 games in a row. They got to break it eventually, so maybe not.
The Dodgers went 4-2 last week, which 4-2 is great. However, if you look at it from the perspective that we, finally lost a series this season, which we were the last team to do so, of course. But those 2 games that we lost to the Rockies, the bullpen just didn't look good. And, I mean, the bullpens looked pretty damn good for 40-plus games this season. So, eventually they're going to have, a couple hiccups. So, it's a little troublesome, but you also have to think Justin Turner wasn't playing in both those games. Mookie Betts had one of those games entirely off. So, we didn't have 2 of our best hitters out there. But with how the Padres are playing, it's a little scary. If we lose tonight and the Padres win, and it looks like they're going to, they're going to be 4 games back of the Dodgers, and they are playing great baseball. So
4.5 games, bro. There's only like 15 games left. They can't scoop up 4 games. The 1 seed is safe.
Crazier things have happened. Well, no.
The 1 seed is safe.
The playoff berth is safe.
No, the 1 seed is. I'm going to say this now, okay? I don't care what happens. You can have your Chipotle gift card back if they don't get the 1 seed. I'll give it back to you.
All right, you heard it here first.
But Chipotle for me. Fuck you, Tyler. Anyways, they're getting the 1 seed. It is what it is. They're not. I mean, if it was maybe 20 games, I'd maybe see it. But there's no way they're gonna gain. They would have to gain 4-5 games to overreach it, to make it in 15 games.
That's 4 games. Jesus. We'll see. I mean, I really hope.
But it'd be fine. If it's 4 games, they're tied. Possible. And obviously, they have a better record against them, so they got the 1 seed. They got the 1 seed. Okay, they got it.
Okay. See, it's really easy to overanalyze things when you're sitting at the top.
It is.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you don't know what that feels like right now, but
I don't, and that's fine because I'm actually for the first time in like 3 years watching other games, intensely rooting for other teams that aren't my own because the Giants are in a wild card hunt.
Yeah,
they're in the wild card.
And I feel the same way right now. I'm trying to – if we weren't podcasting right now, I'd have the Mariners-Giants game and then the Dodgers D-backs game because the Mariners are hot, and they're coming for that second spot for the Astros.
Dude, should we talk about the Yankees right now? Dude, that is crazy.
Let me just say that I don't remember. I mean, I remember I picked the Rays to win the American League.
No, what you said is the Yankees were going to win the division, but the Rays were going to be in the World Series this year.
Right. And the Yankees would have won the division if they weren't hurt. Therefore, I was right.
Don't give me that. Because here's the thing. Don't give me that ever. Okay, if your team is hurt and you suck because of it, that means your team has no depth. That means that's what your record is. I don't want to hear about this. That's just like saying, we didn't win because we just didn't score enough runs. Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally back what you're saying, and especially when it applies to the Yankees. I couldn't care less. I mean, dude, the Toronto Blue Jays, they're hot. The Mariners are hot.
I want the Toronto Blue Jays to go far, dude.
Teams, especially the Mariners, teams that I said at the beginning of the year, well, it's not like the Mariners are going to be competing. And
Marlins.
The Marlins, and man, they're shitting all over of us.
Which sucks because they just destroyed Atlanta today. They beat them like 8-0. So, but I still say they're going to come to earth. They're going to have to play like 5 doubleheaders. Nah, they're not going to be in. Well, actually, shit. Because the thing is the Mets keep losing. The Reds keep losing. Maybe they are going to be there.
The Reds, talk about a disaster. The Reds, who I predicted to play the Dodgers in the NLCS.
Their pitching has came through. Their pitching their bullpen's not that great, but their offense is just so bad, which is so weird. Castellano, Moustakas, Joey Votto, like I don't get it.
Sonny
Suarez,
Gray, Trevor Bauer, dude, they've looked so good.
Great.
But
I love Trevor Bauer's antics too lately too. I'm a fan of it. I'm gonna state that now. I'm gonna be on that train.
Oh yeah, I mean, but this is the thing, when we talk about our predictions at the beginning of the year, this just proves that, dude, no one knows. Like, that's why I love baseball so much. I feel like other sports, you have a pretty good idea of. There might be a couple teams that squeak in, but baseball is always just such a crapshoot.
There's always disappointments, and there's always that team that's better, that's good out of nowhere. That's just why I hate the whole idea of swept or be swept. You have to tank hard, or you got to be one of those top 5 teams competing for a World Series, or you should just tear down, sell everyone. Like, draft picks aren't like that valuable as far as like getting from 7 to lose a bunch to get down to 3.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's not like football where that much value loses in just that short span of the draft. So if you have the opportunity to go for it, fucking go for it. Like, don't give up your prospects, but ride it out. Don't sell everyone.
Yeah, look at the Baltimore Orioles. They're like 2 games out of a playoff spot. I mean, it's really been crazy, and especially when you think about, who the best team in New York is? The Toronto Blue Jays. They've been the best New York baseball team this whole season. I mean,
I forgot.
Crazy.
I feel like you just took me on a ride right now because I forgot, right? And he said the best team in New York. And I was like, oh, the Yankees are shitty. Oh, he's talking about the Mets. Wait, the Mets are shitty. And then you hit me with the Buffalo, and I was like, oh, Bam. God, in my head. Damn.
Yeah,
you just took me.
Yeah, I like taking people on emotional roller coasters. And speaking of which, someone who took me on an emotional roller coaster this week is my stud of the week, who's hot right now. My boy, Corey Seager.
New segment alert.
What are we calling this now? Who's hot? Who's not?
We haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. We'll
right now we're going to go who's hot and who's a dud. Doesn't rhyme. We'll get a bigger one in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Corey Seager's hot. He's been hot the whole season.
I'm not sure if you could call him hot. More just he's destroying right now.
Right. He's just been an inferno this whole season. But he's been great. And I don't really have the numbers in front of me because I'm watching multiple games here at once.
But it's good.
But my dud of the week, excluding tonight where he hit a home run, is Gavin Lux. Why the fuck is he up here? I don't want him on the team.
Prospect in baseball. You got to give him some time.
I
know you are just so.
We're doing totally fine without him. And ever since
he come up, Kike? You hate Kike.
I thought I hated Kike. I love Kike. I don't like Gavin Lux. Call our boy Zach McKinstry. He can hit. He's not just going to go up there. Gavin Lux is the new Austin Barnes. He's just an automatic strikeout. That's all.
We're gonna keep this clip, and I'm gonna save it. And when he has an MVP season, you're gonna look. I hope it doesn't happen.
Fool, Gavin Lux. You can save this clip. Gavin Lux will never hit over 300 in a season ever.
Wow, the number 2 prospect in baseball is not.
I don't.
That's a bold statement. That's a bold statement. We're just talking shit about our own teams now. This isn't even like I don't understand where this is going.
But that's crazy. That's what a true fan is. Anyone who looks at their team
you can't be a homer.
Yeah, with these rose-colored glasses is a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
And they don't know shit.
You got to be critical when criticals do. And he hasn't produced yet. He's expected to be good because he is a number 2 prospect in baseball. But yeah, you got to produce before you get any real titles. Segue into our second newest segment, the fuck you of the week. Or as Farhan likes to say, fuck that guy. You can quote me on that. We're giving the fuck you of the week to Joe West. Don't know his full name, but I'm guessing it's Joseph West. Kicking out Mike Rizzo for yelling at him in the press box. I hate this the generation after us always saying how millennials are so sensitive, which I'll take the L. I know it's pretty true with a good portion of us, and I understand that. But these fucking umpires are so sensitive. Bryce Harper getting kicked out because he's trying to talk to a guy about his foul hit, just wanted to talk to him, wasn't yelling at him. He's getting kicked. You can't even speak to umpires. They can't take any criticism. They want guys thrown out. It's bullshit. Joe West, fuck you. One thing that was brought up, I think it was because he wasn't wearing a mask. He's in a luxury suite by himself. He doesn't need to wear a mask. We need to stop this whole everyone needs to wear a mask, right? Everyone needs to wear a mask when they're around people. That's what it is, to knock down your droplets, right? But if you're by yourself, I hate seeing Zoom meetings where people are wearing masks. Like, that's for show. That is for show. Like, that's why people don't, no matter what, people should take it seriously. Listen to fucking scientists. But that's why people don't take it seriously, because, like, well, why are you wearing a Zoom? Like, you're by yourself in your house, you're wearing a mask. Like Buster Posey said, what are we doing here? Like, let's be mindful, okay? Let's be real.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, Gavin Lux just dropped the ball on the transfer for a double play. So another reason dud of the week.
That's what happens when you talk shit about your guy.
Yeah, whatever.
Now we're going to talk up some people, a team that's on the up and up, and we're going to talk about last week. We're going to dive into it with a good friend of ours. You can find him on Twitter at Steven Rissotto. And I would like to welcome into the Benches Cleared podcast my guy you know him from the RizzoCast podcast, Steven Rissotto. What's going on, my guy? How you feeling?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me on.
No problem, man. Thanks for taking the time to talk a little bit about Giants last week. It was pretty successful. I said before on last week's podcast, obviously you listened, Steven, because you're a avid listener. That's what we're telling everybody, that we needed to take 3 or 4 with the Diamondback series, and we did. A little shaky on when we lost that first game. Still hoping that we pull out of this Mariners series with a sweep. I know they're hot, but I think we could do it. How are you feeling about last week?
Oh, yeah. Last week was great. I think the offense had some good games. So did the pitching. The pitching staff, if you look at some of those games last week, I believe there was a couple, 2-run, the opponent scored 2 runs, and that was it. So the starting pitching looked good. The bullpen looked really good, and I think that's one thing that we have to give Gabe Kapler credit as of late. The bullpen has so many question marks, still does, but I think he's doing a better job managing it. And it's not a strong suit, but he's kind of settling in a little bit. But I think one of the high notes in that series, and you guys will agree, we got to see Madison Bumgarner on Saturday night. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, technically he didn't do that, but he gave up the long ball, which, he does. But it was only 2 solo shots. It wasn't that bad. He probably would have stayed in longer if it wasn't for the pitch count his first time back. But as you were talking about, offense is absolutely killing it. And it's really weird because we were saying at the beginning of the season the only way that the Giants are going to compete is because there it is. Dubon goes yard. Fuck you. The only way they're going to compete is if they scrape enough runs and just the pitching is just out of this world. And it has just been the complete opposite. Nothing that, like that we're used to seeing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think a couple weeks ago they had the most hits in the big leagues, or were on the top 5 for most hits in the big leagues, which, I mean,
top four in runs, average, and hits.
Mm-hmm. And they're scoring a lot of runs at home, which is unheard of. Yeah. It's amazing because Oracle Park usually never plays like it's playing. But, here in California, we've kind of had a hot streak in terms of weather. We are seeing maybe some juice baseballs. I don't know how far you want to go into that conspiracy. And also the right field arcade has kind of that barrier now, which is closing in a lot of the wind tunnels. But, I mean, this offense is looking really good. And if they could pitch, because, if you look at most great teams in baseball, they could pitch. So if they're going to compete, it's going to, they're going to win games and lose games on the mound. So they got the offense right now. Guys like, Flores, Solano continue to be nice additions for Farhan Zaidi. And also the veteran guys, Brandon Belt. Have we seen Brandon Belt hit the ball like he's hitting right now?
Do you think he's going to – how long do you think Dick's and Belt's hot streak is going to go?
Belt usually goes for pretty long. He just knows the right pitches to hit. It seems like, and Amy G was mentioning this earlier tonight, but Dickerson's a good find too. And, another credit to Faranzetti. You look at these guys like Dickerson and Solano, and on paper, they look like complementary players, but these guys are playing really, really well.
Yeah.
And Dickerson, not just offensively, we saw him make a diving catch in left field.
Yeah, I can believe it. Extended dick.
Exactly. So these are good, players all the way around, and they're getting hot at the right time.
Doesn't Brandon Belt have the second? He has like the second best OPS in all of baseball, I think.
Oh yeah,
he missed the first week of the season.
I think it has to do with the fact that in a regular season, Belt gets on these hot streaks, and there's 100 more games left when he gets on the hot streak. So obviously it's not going to last this long. But with 17 more games, 16 more games that we have the rest of the year, I feel like maybe he sees a light at the end of the tunnel, so he can maybe extend it a little bit more and maybe into the playoffs. Extend it for 12 more years. Give him the Mookie contract. Fuck it.
Exactly. And the thing about Belt and guys like Belt, this goes for Brandon Crawford and Evan Longoria too. These guys have a chip
Longo's
on
been
their
good.
shoulders. Yeah, these guys have a chip on their shoulders. They have something to prove. This is a whole new staff that they don't know them from Tom, Dick, or Harry. So it's different because Brandon Belt. Everybody's been saying for years, here comes Bart. Here comes Bart. Posey's going to go to first. Maybe Bart's going to go to first. And Belt's the odd man out in every single one of those discussions.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you know what? He's got a year left, I believe, after 2021. His contract is up, so maybe we see a trade. I know that's been kind of rumored for a long time now, but he's
it's probably a little bit more likely because he has a lot more value right now.
Yeah, you could argue he's playing his way onto a different team.
Yeah, and I want to touch back to what you were talking about with Kapler, because honestly, I was probably someone who was a lot more very critical of Kapler, because I'm a big starting pitcher guy. I love to see it when starters go deep into games and when they look good. Why the hell are you taking them out type shit? But honestly, he's made a lot of adjustments. He's not just kind of putting his foot in the ground. And I think if we're gonna yell at him for the dip in the bullpen, we need to also congratulate him for the surge of offense. So I'm gonna give a big approval right now to Kapler, and also. Apologize to him too for yelling at him for not bringing up Bart right away, and because obviously there were some growing pains, you could see it. It just seemed like it was a service time thing at the beginning, but then when you see him come up and has a lot of misplays, a lot of swing and miss, which he's gonna have, you could see like, okay, maybe he deserves to be here, but like him being down for the first couple weeks, it was like, okay, it's understandable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to your first point about Kapler. We have to look at who the last guy was that had this job. It was Bruce Bochy, and he's going in the Hall of Fame. And Kapler is not Bruce Bochy. Nobody's Bruce Bochy, and he had growing pains along the way. It was
Bruce Bochy can read.
Yeah, Bruce Bochy. That's a cheap shot, but I like it.
Yeah, that was. I've told that to you with confidence. That was a confession.
My bad.
Yeah, but Kapler. An interesting thing about him is his bullpen management was not well liked in Philly. It was not something he's known for there, and maybe it costed him his job. We don't know, but he didn't have a normal spring, and it was a tough, So getting him kind of those first couple weeks to figure things out, his bullpen management looks a lot better. I'll say better, not fantastic. There's still some eyebrow raisers in that group.
Yeah, definitely.
But his lineups look strong. This is a team based on platoons, and he's playing it the way that they need to be played. So, and his coaching staff.
That's something that Bochy didn't do. Bochy left in Belt when he was ice cold, Crawford when he was ice cold, and barely played Solano, and he was like had the best average of the whole team. So, you got to give credit where credit's due. And honestly, if Kapler sees these guys to the playoffs, I think he deserves a lot of the credit. And speaking of playoffs, right now, technically the Marlins won. So if we win today, we would still be in that 7th spot, I believe, which should be bullshit if they don't have to play all their games, by the way. But they would be slated to play against the Braves. I know the Braves aren't as good as the Dodgers, right? But the Giants play the Dodgers well. Who would you rather see in the first round?
I would say the Dodgers. Because the Giants have not seen the Braves.
Tyler. Mm-hmm.
The Giants have not seen the Braves, and they are not horrible against LA. I know the recent memory we had against them was that doubleheader where everything just went wrong and balls were finding holes.
The only time they've been shut out all year was those two games.
Exactly. So I would say the Dodgers, and somebody was talking about this, and that's kind of how I got the thought, but I would say the Dodgers. I think the Giants would much rather want to play spoiler. They're an under the radar team as is. They're not expected, if they do get in, they're not expected to go any further than the first round, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose no matter what. No matter who they see. They see the Braves. Like if they get pecker slapped by the Dodgers or the Braves 10-0 2 games, it's like, well, they were there. That's good for them. And if the Dodgers lose one game 3-2, even on a bad call, there's going to be a whole bunch of questions raised, and it's only bad for the Dodgers. Honestly, I think I would be with you because I've been saying this probably for like 2 years now that you'd want to see them because they play them so well. But just knowing that they lost Max Fried for a little, I'm not sure how long he's gone for, and their pitching is pretty shitty, and offenses get cold. He's been out for a minute. Is he out for the season?
Yes, he had the torn Achilles.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that.
Which raises the question of why they got rid of Fultonevich. I'll never understand.
Well, I think they got rid of Fultonevich. Yeah,
I know, but why wouldn't you keep him as just a back of the rotation?
Yeah, when you have no depth,
especially with the expanded rosters. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But to kind of piggyback what you guys are saying, I don't want to play the Giants in the playoffs in the first round. I don't want to play the Rockies either. I want to play the Marlins. So I hope to God the Marlins somehow slot in that 8 spot.
I don't know why, but the Giants suck against the Marlins too. So that would kind of we wouldn't. There would be no way we're playing them unless we play them at the very end. But there's just I don't know. I also feel a lot of I'm very superstitious and very odds type thing. Like for instance, I'm happy that Seattle's hot because that means their hot streak's going to end.
So you're a Vegas guy.
I don't put money on it because I'm cheap, but I guess you could say that. And so basically what I'm saying is the Dodgers got knocked out the first round last year. I feel like there's no way they're getting knocked out the first round this year. So that also goes to part of you wanted to see the Braves first.
I don't know, man. 3 games is terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Terrifying. It's like you were saying, if we lose 3-2 to the Giants, imagine if that's game 1.
Yeah.
The pressure is already on the Dodgers, but imagine if you lose game 1 in a 3-game series. I mean, Jesus, the pressure is going to be huge.
Especially if it's on a bad call. You know what I mean? Something that should be overturned, but it's too close. It gets in guys' heads. It carries over to the next game. You're done.
Well, who even knows if we'll have Walker Buehler ready to go for the playoffs too? So
yeah. Well, I mean, you also got I know technically Kershaw postseason whatever, but at the same time he hasn't pitched the full year, so I don't think he's going to be as worn. So that's definitely a huge part of it. But as we're talking about players, let's get into our who's hot and who's the dud of the week. We're going to go with who's hot first, and of course you got to go with Hot Dick, full extension, hitting .450 with 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and a couple walks last week. That's not even including tonight's game, which he's already 1 for 2 with a bomb. So,
yeah, Dick, he's been fantastic and a great find. And Kapler's been having him hit up in the order. He's been in the 2-hole, and it was great to see him kind of walk off that hit by pitch, or not the hit by pitch, but he fouled the ball off of his knee.
Yeah, hit by himself.
And also I would put a fun component in this, and I'd say that he's also under the hot section because he's trying to kill cardboard cutouts in the heads in the stands. Mm-hmm. So we got to give him extra points for that because that is.
Are you there, Steven?
What?
Are you there? Are you have a cardboard cutout?
Oh, no, I don't. I don't have a cardboard cutout.
You didn't get suckered into it. I did. I think I was just so pumped on it.
Sucker.
I bought one for me and my dad for Father's Day. I was so pumped on it. So, but yeah, I'm closer to right field. So, Yastrzemski's not throwing at anybody, so I'm not gonna get in anybody.
Yeah, so if you get it back and the head is gone, then you really won't be able to talk. So just keep that
Yes.
in
That'd be too much. And now to talk about the dud of this week. Unfortunately, it's going to go to Tyler Anderson. His second. I mean, he only had one start this week, but we're going to also kind of piggyback on his last start. I mean, both starts he went 4 innings. Last week he gave out 7 runs, and this week it was 4 runs. So, I do you think he's really going to stay in the rotation when Smiley gets back?
He's very expendable. He could pitch out of the bullpen. He did it a little bit. He could be a swingman type if they need it. And you got to wonder how safe Trevor Cahill is.
I don't understand that. He looks good every single time. Do you think he was taken out early because of the little hip thing he's got?
I don't know. That must have been it. He was pitching really good up until that point.
Yeah, I thought he was hurt. Like, I was like, oh, shit, he's down.
Yeah,
and then,
got
like,
really
nothing came out. And I was just kind of like, I don't know what's going on here.
I would say Cahill is more expendable for the reason that he's cheap. And he was at the alternative training site for a good amount of time. And, guys like Smiley have money being owed to them. It's not a lot, but it's something. And but I think they're eager to get Smiley back. A guy like Samardzija, maybe not so much. I don't know what's happening there.
I feel like, yeah, they might slot him in the bullpen and be like, dude, just unleash. Just give us an inning, but just unleash and just see what happens. I mean, can't be that bad. It can't be any worse,
Clean up.
Yeah.
Be the guy that comes in and be the guy that comes in and in the 6-run leads or actually, you know what? No lead is safe now based on these past couple of years. No lead safe. Just
all right
for the rest of the year. No.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up and go to what we call our softball questions because they're not really rapid fire. It's a little bit like a slow pitch because we're gonna make you explain yourself if you come out of pocket. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna go. What would be your walk-up song?
My walk-up song would actually be "Living on a Prayer" by John Bon Jovi. That's a song you probably did not hear coming from a mile away. But so in high school, in our high school newspaper newsroom, that was the hype-up song. Like, that was it.
Really?
We had a teacher who was a big Bon Jovi fan. The advisor was. And I feel like I would turn it into, because I'm a pitcher, I don't hit. I didn't hit at all in high school as a PO. Best job on the planet. So if I'm running in from the bullpen, and you want to get the crowd to sing along and hyped up, that is the song to do it. So I'm going to go Bon Jovi, "Living on a Prayer."
Follow-up question. Sorry, let me take this one.
I got you. I shut my ass up.
So I see these videos on Twitter, on Instagram all the time of PO's last game of the season, finally getting in at bat, hitting bombs. Did you ever get that experience? Did you get one at bat as a PO?
So my junior year, I went 1 for 3. I came off the bench at the beginning of the year, got a single up the middle, nice line drive piece, nothing much. And I think I fly out
humble
and
brag.
struck
I
out
like
the next
up
2.
the middle, no big deal. Okay.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
Yeah,
hey, but I mean,
this past year, obviously COVID kind of shut down the senior year, so I wasn't able to have that. But I don't think I got in that bat. But I came in, and I think we played like 4 games. I pitched in all of them out of relief. But to be a PO as a reliever, it's the best job because you get to sit down, watch the game, and nobody on my team knew how to keep score. So that was what I was doing. Come in, pitch a couple innings, and sit back. Can't talk. I can't talk now. Sit back down, and then you're done. You're done. So that's your day. That's your day. Then maybe pitching coach says, "Hey, go run a few polls," and you do that, and next day you do it again. So it's fun.
That does sound pretty sweet, and you get to just say that you're a career 333 hitter.
Yeah,
you don't have to give everyone specifics. You're in practice 300.
And in practice, they give you a phantom position. They don't call it this. They just say, because you got to do the whole infield outfield stuff. So my fake position was second base. So if I screwed up at second base, nobody really said anything because they're like, oh, we just need somewhere for him to go.
Well, here's the thing, Steven. We wouldn't have checked tape. I feel like this is the opportunity where you could have been like, yeah, I mean, I hit one like 400 feet dead center, but it
no
is
big deal.
We wouldn't have checked the box score.
The stats are online. Stats are online, man. Maxpreps.com.
Are they?
Maxpreps.com. Yep, you'll
Yeah,
see the
dog.
0 ERA.
Even my adult
I guess-
league, rec league, has stats online, bro. You can't, Jess. You can't escape this. You can't lie.
I guess,
It'll be
yeah.
a game changer. It's
I
game
guess if
changer.
you're honest, you never have to change your story, and that's pretty
Mhm.
nice. So if you were in the major leagues, which I mean, I guess you being a pitcher, I guess this would definitely be who would you strike out. But you can also answer who you want to hit a bomb off of too. No rules
Oh.
here.
Okay, I'll do both. I would want to strike out. That's a good question. Let's start with who I'd want to hit a bomb off of,
Mhm.
and that would probably be Jacob deGrom, because I hear all the time that this guy's the hardest guy to pick up, hardest fastball to pick up, late movement, all that. So I'd probably want to go deep off him. Hit the apple in center field at Citi Field.
Yeah, knock that shit off. Okay.
And then strikeout. That's a good one. I'd probably, I got to go with Jock Peterson, because that would be, with
Pretty
the
easy.
Dodger trend here.
Out of left field. What?
Jock Peterson, pride of Palo Alto, California. I'd strike him out because he looks like he's swinging the go deep every single time. And he'd probably fall over if I threw him like an Ephus pitch or something.
I was gonna say that we're always expecting like Mike Trout or Jock Peterson strikes out a third of the time he's at the plate. I feel like that's just not saying much. Like, I could probably strike out Jock Peterson.
Yeah, so that was more. You were giving practical answers and not like
Fine. Tony Gwynn.
Okay. All right. So I know you're in high school, so this wouldn't really.
I'm in college now, man. Got called up.
Well, well, you're 1 year removed from high school, right?
A few months
so
removed from high school.
usually bring this up to make fun of your stuff, what you used to listen to. So we're gonna go back and say middle school jam. What was your favorite middle school jam?
Ooh, what did they play at the dances? I'm trying to think.
You don't want to know what they played at my middle school dances.
No, I don't want to hear that.
My neck, my back.
Oh my!
Oh,
That Kaya
They
song.
played that. They played that shit at my middle school dances, and people my age are upset about WAP. Same
That shit-
shit. Okay.
mhm.
That's
Sorry,
way worse
Steve.
than WAP. Look it up.
Yeah, it is. I can't believe they played
Yeah.
that shit.
So if we're talking middle school, I mean, what was popular back then? I mean, they had I remember in 5th grade they had the Gundam style with the South Korean artist
Oh, jeez,
Psy.
yeah.
I think at one point that was the only thing I had on my iPod.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
And that's back when people used to spend money on actual songs. Which,
You paid $1 for that. You paid $1 for
oh
Gundam.
yeah. hmm So that's the only one I could think of off the top of my head.
That's perfect. That's exactly what we were looking for. Favorite
Was it
unwritten
though?
rule?
We're looking for things that are worse, but that's
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are definitely trying to get Taylor Swift out of me, which
hey,
Don't
That's
be talking
respectable.
about T Swivy.
yeah.
I think guys our age all love it. So
Favorite
that
unwritten
might-
rule.
that might be a joke for your generation, but we take that shit seriously here, all right?
So favorite unwritten rule. I really like the bat flips. I think it unloads some emotion on the game. There's so many athletes being lost to football and NBA because they just look cooler. They look cooler. These guys are having fun. Baseball, there's a certain strict code that you have to follow, but you're having fun playing basketball and football. You just turn on the TV. There's LeBron James screaming.
Trash talk. I love it.
Yeah. So, but if you bat flip, here's the deal. Let's use Jock Peterson. Sorry to use him again, but
that's fine.
Jock Peterson bat
Yeah,
flip.
Tyler's not a huge Jock Peterson fan, so I think
I'm really not. So go ahead.
So Jock hits a homer, bat flips. Okay, with that bat flip, he is subject to get a fist pump from the pitcher the next time around if the pitcher strikes him out. So that's my rule on that.
You're making up.
And I know the hot
Okay.
one is the 3. Yeah, the hot one, the 3-0, swing 3-0. Fan of that too. If you don't want to give up a 3-0 fastball down the middle for a home run, don't get the 3-0 in the first place. That's probably not a good idea. But there's certain times where you probably shouldn't. Like if you need base runners, you're behind by 2, last 3 innings, and probably not a good idea. But
I think people don't swing at it for for strategy reasons. Because if the guy can't throw a strike, take your base. Don't get the small chance that you're gonna like line out or something.
Yeah, but when you're crushing the other team, sure, that should be a more comfortable time for you to get the green light. Because if your team doesn't want you to keep scoring runs, then stop giving up runs. So it's easy.
Drop dick. Why not? Favorite wrestling move and bonus question: what player would you use it on? I guess why would it be Jock Peterson?
It wouldn't be Jock because I think he's got some power. So I'm not a big wrestling guy, but I do know that I've seen the drop technique used, and that seems fun. I don't know what it's called. I don't know the name of it.
The RKO? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, have a guy over your shoulders.
Kind of like the half Stone Cold Steve. Oh, maybe not. Who would you use it on?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh God, it's got
trying to get it out of you. We're just trying to get negative out of you right now.
I don't want to go with a small guy because Jock Peterson, that was a cheap shot earlier. I'll admit with the strikeout question, but somebody decent sized, and not Bartolo Colon either because I'd suffocate and probably die. Man, who is I guess that's a good question. Who would I use it on? Who's the most hated
guy? Maybe Joe Gallo. He's pretty that's a big dude. That's a big boy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll go with
Joe
Gallo.
For a living legend, Miguel Cabrera. I mean, there's so many you could do.
Yeah.
Do you want bragging rights?
I don't want to hurt his ankle.
Somebody? Yeah. Damn, that's cold-blooded.
Yeah, I would Stone Cold Stunner Barry Bonds for sure.
Fuck you.
Even though he's a little bit smaller now.
You couldn't get your hand around his head, okay?
Oh, yeah, his head's 10 sizes smaller now.
You can't get your arm around his head to do a Stone Cold Stunner properly, so fuck you, Tyler. All right, last question, Steven. What's your favorite activity outside of baseball?
Podcasting and writing. That's kind of my niche. Is that how you say that? Niche? Whatever.
However you want to go about it.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thing.
Can't do the other.
That's kind of my thing. Outside, I was debating if I wanted to play college ball. Probably can at a JC here that I'm going to, but broadcasting, writing, that's kind of something that I wanted to go down for a long time now, and getting the opportunity to do it and getting the opportunity to get educated on it. It's awesome. So glad that social media has helped with that to get the word around, and hopefully I'll be in a big league press box near you soon.
We'll be checking. Make sure to be checking them out. RizzoCast. Thanks for coming on, man, and we'll talk to you soon, my guy.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on. Have a good one.
Thanks, brother. As always, this episode is brought to you by Renovation Candle Company. Renovation Candle Company, pumping out the best fall candles in the game. Use promo code BENCHES at checkout for 20% off your entire order.
Yeah, it's always candle season, right, when it comes to renovation candles. But fall is extra special candle season.
That's right. Celebrate
the season right. Get some candles. You probably ain't going to be able to trick-or-treat for Halloween, so might as well make it smell like Halloween. Get some good candles. And make sure to be following us on Twitter, @BenchesClearedP, or on Instagram, @BenchesClearedPodcast. Make sure to be participating in all of our polls. Add us to be featured. Tell us your trash talk. Talk some shit to us.
Tell us your reasons why you don't like Gavin Lux.
Tell us your reasons why you suck. Why Tyler sucks. Why Tyler sucks, not Gavin Lux. And we'll put you on. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week. I'm saying fuck Aubrey Hutt.